Hey guys, just testing this live stream out, number one. I'm just home chilling next to my teddies. Anyways, I wanted to see how many of you guys were up at this time. It's 2:14 in the morning. A lot of you wanted an open group. A lot of you hit me up privately because you felt the private group we have wasn't impacting as many people as you wanted it to, I guess. Or you just wanted people that were not in the group to see, wanted maybe Jermaine Grant to see. Hi, Jermaine Grant. Um, for those of you that don't know, my connection to Mr. Grant, I'm one of his baby mothers. We were together for quite some time, 13 years. And out of those 13 years, we had 5 children. He's currently not letting me see my children for selfish reasons. What goes around comes around. What goes around comes around. But I came to a point in my life where I got tired of being scared of him. I got tired of giving him respect when he never deserved it. He is a very mean, condescending type of person. He has evil tendencies. He likes to provoke situations and then point the finger at people. It's ironic how he always calls for respect and how he wants people to respect him, but yet he doesn't know how to muster up a grain of respect for others. When you see the facade and the smile coming from this man, it's usually to get something he wants or to get in your good graces, to, I don't know, make you see what he wants you to see. Like a mirage, you know, from far away it looks beautiful. It looks like a tropical island. But then when you walk up close to it, it's a fucking desert. And nothing but scorpions and freaking tarantulas crawling around it, and what you thought you saw, that oasis, really isn't. Comes to conclude my final thought about this man is not what he appears to be. You know, he appears to be this man that wants to help people. I actually thought he was that type of person too when I first met him, honestly. That's how he comes off, and he picks and chooses who he wants to help, but he wants people to see that he's helping, and he wants that to get around that he's helping for, publicity. You know how rich people give to charity, but it's for a reason. It's so they could get tax breaks. So, what he's doing is to be seen by others and also get some type of notoriety somewhere else, or some type of break somewhere else. I'm also in awe of the many stories I've seen from people and read, and people personally hit me up telling me. And it hurt my heart to hear a lot of the things that people have gone through because of this man. I have sat in the background hearing bits and pieces of conversations, seeing certain things happen, but I never really fully understood the magnitude of what he's been doing over these years. So I'm gonna go ahead and enlighten some of you that think I'm a liar, or think that a lot of people that are coming forward talking about this man are lying. Remember, I've been with this man for 13 years. And this is one thing I live by. Do unto others as you want them to do to you. also don't bear no false witness. I'm not one that's gonna sit there and be like, oh my God, somebody killed somebody and they really didn't. Because at the end of the day, I wouldn't want it done to me. So anything that I speak is because I saw, I read, and if somebody told me, I'm gonna tell you it's hearsay. I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit for you. So, over the years, I have seen him take council meetings. You guys know what council meetings are, right? That's basically when, you know, you're having problems in any area in your life and you can't work it out yourself, and you call on the church, which basically he's become the church, but you call on the church for a council meeting, for they could, counsel you and give you that therapy for the heart and the mind and the soul, through God's word, and, hope that they're gonna deal righteously with you guys, and, hopefully at the end of the council meeting, there's gonna be a rainbow after that storm. I've heard a lot of your councils. I don't know your names per se because this was years ago, but I've sat in front of him while he has put you guys on speaker. There's been a number of people, a number of couples from different states, from New York, from Florida, just Baltimore. I've even heard Wanye and his wife's counsel several times. This man has taken the privacy of your guys' problems and has basically put it public. And when I say public, I mean me, because I have no reason to know why somebody's marriage is breaking up because they're committing adultery or fornicating or whatever the case may be. This is supposed to be between you, your so-called comforter, and God, right? Or the high holy apostles, whatever. It's supposed to be between y'all. I am not the only person that was around when council meetings were going on. I'm sure a number of his entourage or people that follow him around that are hired to do those certain things overheard your councils. Also, the many women, that, because if he's done it around me, please believe he's very loose with it, and he has done it around other people. So I want you to know that when some of you came to the New York church, I was right in his office. And through the office, you can hear everything. And there's no way on earth he didn't know that. He was very aware of it, that, things could be heard in the other office. He has told me to be quiet while meetings were going on in the office. I myself have participated in council. Now, it's a joke. This is my opinion. I don't know if it's worked for you. Don't go chopping my head off. But personally for myself, when I went, it was, it was basically to tell, I thought maybe I could get some help from Ariel or Shar. I thought, and I didn't realize how much power he had over these people. So I was still a little naive. So I thought going to council and speaking to Ariel and Shar, I could get some real insight, because these men really, to me, in my eyes, had the spirit of the Lord in them. I went there, I stated my case. Jermaine spoke about how I was a rude, disrespectful woman, and I was adulterous, and whatever else he felt like bringing out of the sky, right? So, the whole time I was with him, I didn't cheat on him. Anytime I did be with another man, I was not with him. We actually broke up, and I was out of his house, like I moved. But anywho, At that particular time, it wasn't about me committing adultery. It was just about me clapping back with the mouth. You know, I have a problem staying shut. I don't like when people are in my face barking and I feel your spitlets in my face, just, you know, smacking me in my face. I'm sorry. Like, I can't. I can't with that. So I would totally clap back at him, get the way he would get disrespectful with me, I would totally get disrespectful back. And you know, he wasn't really feeling that, him being the comforter and everything, and he's so used to being of people being like, yes, con, sir, yep, whatever, you know, and jumping because he said. And I guess I was his opponent. I was the one of the few people that stood up to him. And he didn't like that, so he would put his hands on me frequently, in the middle, and from the beginning to the middle of our relationship towards the end. He was loose with the hands. And so finally I'm like, oh, he would hit me, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna leave or whatever. And he's like, oh, let's go to council, let's work this out. And I'm like, all right, I have all these children with this man. I made my bed. I have to lie in it. I can't leave him. I can't divorce him, right? Maybe if I go and get wisdom from these elders, I can work on my soul and, you know, make things better. So I went in, and we were stating our problems, and then I told him, I was like, this man is hitting me. So Shar got very angry, and he yelled at me, and he was like, this is the God-sent comforter. Sister, the church using this man, putting his hands on you. He would never do nothing like that. Now I'm whispering because I'm home and people are sleeping, but he was loud when he was speaking. You can call it yelling. And I looked at him, and I'm looking at Shaw like, really, dude? But I'm not giving him that attitude, because of course I was under the order of trying to be this righteous woman, trying so hard. So I was looking at Shaw, and you know, I had tears in my eyes, and I'm like, I'm in disbelief. I had Ariar, I had Shaw, and I had Tazadaqyah in the room. And Jermaine stood up, and he was like pulling his belt up and his pants up, but you know, can't pass his belly. Anyways, he was pulling that up, and he was like, nah, she right. I did hit her. So he basically told him that he did. But, you know, he said after that, but this woman, wicked as hell. So, I guess in his mind, since I'm a wicked little woman, it was justified. So, Arya piped down, not Arya, Shar piped down, and he stopped. He kind of like looked at me and kind of looked away, like, cause he kind of felt like, oh shit, she was telling the truth and I was just chewing her out, right? So then Arya came and he looked me right in the eye. He was like, sister, you gotta get yourself right. And I'm like, but he hit me. He's not supposed to hit women. I was like, he's sitting here teaching the brothers, don't put your hands on your wife. Love your wives as Christ loved the church. Love your wives as you love your own flesh. I'm like, if he's teaching the brothers that, why is it okay for him to do it? So Arya's like, it doesn't matter what he does. You need to get yourself right. And I looked at Arya, because it's like, I knew at that moment, these men had no power over him. I knew at that moment he was not going to get corrected for what he has done. Anything that he was doing. I knew at that moment in time, counsel was a joke for myself. I thought because personally I was with him and he was the so-called God-sent comforter, I will never be vindicated. I will never have justice. I will never have this man repenting for what he's done. And having other people tell him, yo, you wrong. So, I think we went to council like 1 or 2 more times. And that was it for me. I was done. And it didn't matter if he said, let's go to council after we would finish fighting and stuff like that. I'd tell him straight up in his face, council is biased. is towards the men, I'm not going to get no satisfaction there. They're just going to harp on whatever I'm doing wrong, and they're not going to say nothing to you. So, of course, Jermaine got very upset, and he said, those is righteous men in there. They're the men of God. But the men of God didn't correct you. Not one time did the men of God say to you, brother, you was wrong for putting your hands on your wife. Not one time did the men of God say, brother, you're supposed to love the sister like you love yourself. Not one time did they pull scripture out saying how he's not supposed to beat me. And he's supposed to treat me good. He's supposed to love his wife. Not one time. The whole council meeting became a me issue. And how I needed to act as an Israelite woman and as the wife of Tazadaqyah. So, as obviously I was kicked out of the church after we broke up. I was still going to the church. And one day he just had an epiphany. He just was like, oh, you can't come no more. I'm like, why? We didn't even have an argument or anything. He just one day was like, you just can't come no more. I was like, why not? And he was like, nah, you want to be wicked out in the world. You're just going to be out there. Okay. I mean, what could I do at the end of the day, right? Things kind of like snowballed after that to where they at right now. But not one time did I even think to call a council meeting to justify myself that I wanted to keep going to church. I'm gonna say this. A lot of women reached out to me and they had the same experiences. Some of them had high-ranking husbands. Some of them had lower-ranking husbands. But the fact of the matter is, what was always the same, that women's voices were not heard in the church. Very seldomly and rarely did females come out of there feeling like their husbands were checked and were told through scripture that they were doing evil. A lot of women reached out to me telling me this. Now, I don't know about anybody that actually felt like counsel did good for them. If it did, I am happy for you. Very happy that you found some type of peace and, you know, you resolved your issues. Because I never want people to be, you know, feeling like crap. But for myself, and for a lot of women that are in and out of the church, that's not so. Also, he promotes polygamy. For those that are in the church, you understand what I'm saying? Multiple wives. The thing is that with the multiple wives, another thing, he teaches the brothers that they're supposed to let their wives know that they're going to take on another wife. And that they're supposed to court the woman for 6 months before engaging in consensual sex, consummating the marriage, whatever, right? Oh no, that doesn't apply for Mr. Grant. Not at all. Mr. Grant does not have to go through courtship. Mr. Grant does not have to wait to consummate a marriage. But he has you brothers waiting 6 months, and you can't kiss your girl, and you can't hold her hand. I'm just saying to you guys, do you think he waited 6 months with me? You just let that marinate in your mind, okay? You think he waited 6 months with the girl Jessica, the sister that was pregnant with twins? The only reason why he waited is because she was pregnant with twins. And he had to wait the 2-month period. Was it more? It's more than 2 months, if I believe, having a girl. He had to wait that period until after she had, she was clean from having her children. She was just broken up with the man. You think he waited? I have gotten messages from women that he has dealt with. And she told me that they didn't wait 6 months to do sexual acts. This man does not follow his own rules. But for whatever reason under the sun, he's a Saul. He doesn't have to follow the rules. He could just march to the beat of his own drums. And all of you have to sit there and wait on whatever he says. Hey, to each his own. I'm just saying, if you want to be a leader of people, perhaps, just maybe, Jermaine, you might want to do as you preach. I mean, it might help you, you know, but what do I know? So I can say, without a doubt, he did not wait to sleep with me for 6 months. Also, he was very aware that the priests were supposed to take virgins. Now, he's probably taking virgins now, right? Because he's like raising them in his house and everything. But, yeah, what I've noticed about Mr. Grant, he took women that he met in the streets, in the clubs, and online. He is an online dater, guys. How do I know this? One of his exes hit me up and she told me herself, which I thought was super funny. She told me the whole story. So he meets women online, in the street. He met me in the street, in the Bronx. I'm a Bronx girl, born and raised in New York City in the Bronx. He's also from the Bronx too, if anybody didn't know that. For some reason people think he's from Brooklyn. Nah, he was born and raised in the Bronx. And I just happened to be going home at like 3 in the morning, and I was with my cousin. We both females walking home alone. He didn't come out his car, you know, and I was like, what, 18, 19 years old, and he's honking his horn, being very flashy with an orange Versace velour suit on with his red Expedition. Some of you know that red Expedition. Had that red Expedition with the red rims. He still has that car, as a matter of fact. Guys, he has like over 13 cars. And some of your churches don't even have one car. Just let that shit marinate in your mind, guys. Let it marinate in your mind. So, yeah, he stopped me from there. He knew I was talking to somebody else. Whatever happened to don't take another man's wife. Because according to you, Tazadaqyah, according to you, if a woman is already engaged in a relationship with a man, isn't she married to him by laws of God? Oh my God. That didn't stop him. That didn't stop him. He knew, and he still pursued me. He knew I was in relations with this man. I didn't stop him. But he was a sly person. What he did was slowly took me away from people and isolated me. I was just so happy to be out the ghetto. I was very young and very stupid, very naive. I was just so happy to be out the ghetto, so happy to have somebody that seemed like they really cared and loved me, right? All that pretty much stopped, like his nice attitudes and you know, the loving ways. It pretty much stopped after when I got pregnant with my son, our first son together. No, he had a son prior, but our first son. And yeah, after I had my son, that's when the beatings pretty much started. Yeah. While we was together, he moved us from a condo we was living in. It was I was pregnant, taking care of his son when his son was over on the weekdays, and he would go home on the weekends with his mom. And at that time he would bring his nephew, his brother's son, over to keep his son company. I was young. I like kids. You know, I didn't mind babysitting. I used to tell him to leave him with me while he went to go do the Lord's work, right? Stupid me, right? And I watched them. I did not mind doing that. Until I started becoming so pregnant and having health problems. Come to find out, later on in my pregnancy, I had preeclampsia. Long story short, he moves us into this house in New Jersey, right? So he's like, oh, let me backtrack a little. While I was there, I found out he was bringing a young lady to the house while I wasn't there, because he took me and his son out to PA, and I was out there for like 2 weeks, and I had a doctor's appointment, and I remember he kept telling me to reschedule, and I was like, yo, dude, I ain't talk to him like that. Of course, I didn't want to get smacked in the face, but basically I was telling him, look, I need to go to the doctor. I don't feel good. Like, I am really sick. Finally, he comes up to get me. I come to the house. I'm seeing acrylic nails. I'm seeing all my stuff and all his, like, he beforehand he told me to pack up his son's stuff and my stuff because we were moving to the new house, right? So I see like female stuff in like where I used to have my stuff at, and then because I'm a snoop, I do a further investigation, and I actually find pictures of the young woman. So comes out, I confront him. He's like, oh, why you going through my shit? And I'm like, yo, are you really serious? You had me out there about to die, and you're over here fucking someone else? I was like, who does that? And he's like, no, that's not what happened. She just needed a place to stay, this and that, da 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 da. So when we moved to the new house, he tells me, I'm not gonna bring nobody there. It's just for you, me, Sammy, and Prince. Cool, right? He tells me that he's not gonna bring another woman to the house. My son had been like 6 months old, and one day, not one day, a few times out of the week, he would be blasting the TV so freaking loud downstairs under me, because it was a 2-level house, so loud that I couldn't sleep. I had a 6-month-old in the room with me. My son did not want to sleep in his crib, so he would sleep with me. Jermaine did not sleep with me, right? So I remember those walkie-talkies, the Nextel walkie-talkies. So I Nexteled him, and I'm like, could you like lower down the TV? And he's like, no, I'm studying, I can't do that right now, yada yada. So alright, I lay down. I'm like, yo, this don't make no sense. Why he won't lower the TV down? Like, it's stupid loud. So then I start hearing moaning. I'm like, nah, I don't hear moaning. Long story short, guys, he had a 16-year-old in the house. 16-year-old. At this time, I had just had my son. I was 22. 20, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. He was 28? He had to been like 27, 28. She was 16 or just turned 17. Right? How did I find this out? Because me and her spoke. Once I realized there was a woman downstairs, I started next telling him, oh, let me go downstairs to have relations with you. I don't want to, put that on blast or anything. I'm like, oh, let me go downstairs and have relations with you. And he's like, I go to the living room. The living room was pitch dark. He walks up the stairs, pulling his leather pants up, and he didn't have no underwears under. He doesn't see me. I guess he goes to my bedroom. He sees I'm not there. He flies to go back downstairs. I guess he thought I was going to run down there and kick her ass. I mean, it was a legit thought, And then I had my son in my hand. Basically, he was yelling at me, telling me to get the fuck out and this and that. I was like, alright, bye. Deuces. I packed some of my son's stuff, and I made him a couple of bottles, and I was going to leave. Never had a problem doing that. He comes and chases after me. Let me explain. Let me tell you what's happening. Yada, yada. Cool. About like after an hour to 2 hours of me, like, fuck you, go to hell, I finally, like, come back to the house. Because it is, like, 2 or 3 in the morning, right? So I go back. He starts telling me the sob story. He still has not told me her age yet. The sob story about this woman, and that he feels sorry for her, and that her grandmother kicked her out, and she had no place to go. And I'm like, where's her mother? And he's like, oh, her mother lives in um, Albany, New York. Alright, cool. So I was like, oh, so to help her, you gotta fuck her. He was like, nah, but you know, we're together, this and that. Alright, cool. Because, you know, remember, we're Israelites, so, you know, y'all can engage in having more than one wife. Stupid me. So, he's like, just, you know, meet her or whatever. She'll stay here for a little while, blah, blah. I'm like, grudgingly, I say yes. Then he tells me, oh, she's 17 years old. I looked at him. I'm like, nigga, 17? I'm like, thinking to myself, like, yo, that shit is super fucking young. She was so young. She was still in high school, guys. She was so young, her mother had to give parental rights over to him. Or guardianship, whatever you want to call it. But he could enroll that girl in school. She was so young that if she didn't go to school, they were going to find out that she wasn't in school, and truancy as it called, was going to get called. But people don't believe Jermaine like the young me. Tisk on you. Which leads me to believe that he might be tapping one of the holy women, if not both. I mean, he got a thing for lighter women, so I don't know how much he would deal with Mataniah, which I love dearly. She was a sweetheart. But the light one, the older one, this is a virgin that he's basically molded from a very young age to act, walk, talk, study, speak all the way he wants. Be the type of woman he wants to be. Molding a holy woman. The reason why I throw that accusation around, and that's an accusation, because I don't know if that's happening, guys. I told you I would tell you the truth, and I would tell you if I'm speculating. The reason why I throw that accusation around, because he put a rule that nobody could come downstairs after 1 p.m. in my own house. Why can't I come downstairs to the kitchen if I want to? She was sleeping in the living room. She refused. She refused to take a bedroom with Mataniah because she needed privacy. Really? What does a teenage girl really need privacy to the fact that she can't share a room with another teenage girl? To pray? Y'all can pray in different areas. Y'all don't have to pray in the same room. You know, like, it's just little things like that. And then one time when I did come downstairs, because I'm rebellious, I wanted a cup of water. So when I did come downstairs to come get a cup of water and get some snacks or whatever, I got chewed out, guys. You don't even understand to the 10th power of the level of chewing out he did. Because I wanted water. And I wasn't giving her, this 14, 15-year-old girl, privacy. After that, it made me think to myself, this man could be doing whatever he wants with her. When he was taking her downstairs to the basement for hours, what are you doing? If they're both the holy women, shouldn't they both be getting the same treatment? He always favored the lighter skinned one with the green eyes. He always took her everywhere. He would take her to Manhattan, to his penthouse in Manhattan. He would take her to the school. Like, everybody would drive in the bus together, and she would drive with him to the school separately. And he would take her home sometimes separately. How much spiritual guidance do you need at 15, 16-year-old that you have to be around this young woman, young child all the time? So, it was a red bulb that flashed. Like I said. Oh, and also, The shade I used to get from that girl. Shade. Shade. I mean, shade. Like, for no reason. She would wake up, prance around the house, and would not greet me, would not say hello, would not say good morning. To the fact that it was so disrespectful that I actually went and spoke to him about it. And he actually agreed with me and took my side and yelled at the girl. It was like, how dare you not speak? You know who you think you are? And then he asked me if Matanaya wasn't speaking to me. I was like, no, Matanaya is very pleasant and respectful and speaks to me every day. She says hello. Now, there was an order that I was not supposed to get like buddy with them. I mean, they're teenage girls. How buddy do you want me to get with them? I'm like way older than them, you know? But there's also a common ground. These young ladies were helping me around the house. They were helping me with my children. So, of course, I'm going to speak to them on several different levels about several different things, you know? And just as a young lady growing up and me being the only female in the house with his mother, you know, you talk to him about female stuff. But I mean, after he chewed her out after that particular time, she would speak and she became nice. But for a while, she was giving me the stank. For whatever reason. Now, you know, me putting that together and the excessive amount of time he was spending alone with the young lady led me to believe that he was grooming her for something more, or he had some type of romantic connection with her. So I would say this, don't be surprised, guys, if you ever see him taking her as a wife. Don't be shocked. If he doesn't, hey, if he does and she comes out pregnant, hey, I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there because that's what I thought in my heart. I could be wrong. So, like I was saying earlier, I'm just testing the live thing out, and I also wanted to get some stuff off my chest. On the 15th is my son's birthday, Prince Joel. After that, on the 19th is Miss Bianca's birthday. After that, on the 27th is Miss Blessing's birthday. So they're my babes, my little babies. And of course, as some of you may know, I am not allowed to see them. Not because the courts took them away. Because Tazadaqyah, Jermaine Grant, just feels in his heart that he just doesn't want me to see my kids because I'm gonna put them in danger. I don't know. Like, you know, which I find hilarious, but you know. So he's been doing this for I think since I broke the TV in his car. Yeah, I did that. You know why I did that, guys? Because he would not return my clothing, my property, none of my stuff, my personal items that I had in the house. He would not return it. So I smashed the TV in his car. Yep, I sure did. After that, he kind of went bonkers and was like, oh, you're not gonna see your kids no more. Dude, this has nothing to do with them and everything to do with you. I have went to the church. Some of you may know me from the church. Like, I've went over there and I've went to their school. I've went to his house. Like, you know, he might put fear in some of you guys' hearts, but I'm just one woman by myself, alone. I have no help. I have nobody standing behind me. And I'll tell you this, Jermaine, I'm not scared of you. At all. And if I had the money, I'll fight your ass in court. So, you know, for some reason, he feels instilling fear in people's hearts and crippling them and belittling them and making them seem like they're nothing and worthless. That's the way to have people under his grip. And that's how he controls you. With fear. So, I tell you this, people, stand up. Stand tall. Don't be scared of him. ever. Because this man is a joke. And the power that he has behind him is because people give him power. Take your power back. Take it back. I did. Had I knew though, things would have worked out the way they did concerning my children, I would have went about it a different way. Totally different way. I would have left with them. But it's too late now. But you guys, y'all can take your power back. Stop giving this man money. Stop giving this man your time, your attention. You're seeking God and you feel like the truth is really the truth. Perhaps you guys should like open up your own church or have your own Bible study. This man is gouging you guys for money. And when brothers and sisters have told me the amount of money you guys are giving him, do y'all not know that I've seen this man counting tithes and priest funds in the privacy of his own home? Do you not know that he has told me to take money out of big black garbage bags to go buy whatever it is I wanted to buy? Do you not know that this man is using some of that money that he gets from the church for personal things? Do you not know that a lot of the vehicles that are under the church's name are his private vehicles? Do you not know this, people? Or do you know and you just turn a blind eye? Do you know and you just feel like it's alright, he could do what he wants because he's the God-sent comforter? Christ was God-sent and he ain't do not one thing like that. Moses was God-sent and he gave up all the riches he had. He gave up everything he had in Egypt and followed in the Lord. Why are you blinded to what he's doing? This man walks around with freaking Gucci belts. One time, because he forgot to fucking bring a chain with him. He stopped at a jewelry store just to buy one because he had to have a chain on his neck. What kind of shit is that? You really need to be seen that hard? Or be noticed that much, Jermaine? That you are making these people suffer? You are putting people out of their homes, taking food out of people's children's mouths just to feed your pockets and your ego for you to live a lavish life. And me and you both know you live a good life. This man has a mansion out in Florida. Brothers have told me he has a condo in Miami. He has a 2-bedroom apartment in Allentown, Pennsylvania. He has a penthouse in 83rd Street in Manhattan. He has 2 houses that he rents in Hackensack. He has another house in Teaneck he rents. He has another house in Jersey City that he's renting out to people. I think St. Ivan knows about that because he was living there with his wife. His brother lives there. I don't know if he still does. His mother used to live there. You people think this man is popping off a black icon? I could tell you myself, the only party that popped off in there was my daughter's first birthday. I have never seen him do actual business in there. And if you walk in there, well, at least the last time I walked in there, when I tell you this man is a pig, he's a pig. He's a, what some people call hoarder. He just keeps and holds stuff forever. So how are you running a business and establishment where it's just holding a whole bunch of your junk? Now, this was years ago, so excuse me if it's been cleaned up by now, if he actually is running something right now. But from what I saw from my own eyes, and I tell you I've been with this man for 13 years, I've even questioned him myself. How does he make his money? You have to wake up and you have to think for yourself. You are in the 20th century. Like, you have to wake up. I did not know for years where he was getting his money. I had thoughts and ideas, but I couldn't confirm them. I don't give a damn how many lawyers this man has. I don't care how many guns he's had. Oh, yes, because I've seen him with guns, yes. If I go missing, you know who did it. But you know what, Jermaine? I'm going to tell the truth about what I've seen about you and what you've done over the years. And fine, tell people I was a whore. I don't care. So what? Tell people I was a bad mother. I don't care. I know the truth. Tell people I'm a liar. The worst mistake I ever did was never call the cops on this man when he was beating me. The second mistake I did was not save money when he was giving it to me. If I could get myself and my children out of there. But you live and you learn. I was with this man at a young age. He was a lot of my life all I knew for a long time. And was mistreated. The only thing I can say was that he was a great provider. He was a shitty husband. And a nice, pretty good father. But you people need to wake up. You can't keep letting him bamboozle you. Telling you that he's living a modest life. Because he's not. You think about it when your sons and daughters are hungry at night because you had to pay $1,500 for a freaking garment. Do you not know how much it costs when you go to the freaking fashion district to buy fucking material? Do you not know it's not even half of that? He is making a profit off of you people. He won't let you guys sell amongst yourselves. But he's selling all his merchandise there. I believe it was Christ that came into the temple and saw people selling merchandise and started breaking it, if I'm not mistaken. Why is it okay for him to do it? Do you guys not think for yourselves? Do you guys not question the stuff that you're seeing? Well, next time I do this, because this was fun, I want some feedback from you guys, okay? You begged for this. You begged for an open room. You begged to share stories about him. And the minute you get what you want, you guys mute up. I just have to take breaks about talking about him. I really do. I don't like watching videos about him. I really seldomly like to talk about him anymore. You know what I'm saying? And it's because of the dislike I have for this man. I don't hate him. I don't think I hate anybody. Hate is a really strong, angry word. I have a strong dislike for what he's done concerning my children. I forgive him for being a freaking whoremonger. I forgive him for beating me. I have to come to terms about my children at my own time. But you guys have to wake up. So next time I do this, please interact, ask questions, feel free to chime in and stop being scared. You cannot be scared for the rest of your life. Look at me. I walked away from him. This man tried to destroy me, and I'm still standing up. So you think about that. Life does not end when you walk out of that church. And life does not end when you turn your back on him. Only God decides when it ends for you, not a man on this earth. Fight for yourselves, guys. And I'll see y'all later. Bye.